Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and today we're gonna have some interesting cases that what really the anti or the abortionists really are. We all know that they're violent, evil people, and they're not really the greatest amount of people. But we all know that they're mostly just not right in the head. And what we have here is this. I hope you get great. Kansas woman, 37, is charged with assault after punching and abusing pro-life activist, 18, who knocked on her door to canvass her vote. A Kansas woman has been charged with assaulting a teenage pro-life canvasser after she knocked on her door ahead of a referendum on abortion law. Grace Harsock, 18, had been going door to door in Leawood, Johnson County, when a woman became aggressive, allegedly screaming at her, "I hope you get raped." The teenager, who had been volunteering for pro-life organization students for claims that initially a woman politely said, "Sorry, I don't think you want to talk to us." But after turning to leave, Harstock, who returned to door knocking on Monday, claims that she heard a second woman shouting and swearing inside the property. The second woman reportedly shouted, "Don't apologize to her mom," before... What is going on? Stop it. Mute. There we go. That's better. Now, where was I? Oh, there we go. Yes, that's right. Before following Harstock down the drive while berating her on July 31st. SFL claimed that the woman shoved the teenager in the chest and began hitting her with closed fists until her mother told her to stop. Harstock said it's unfathomable that the pro-choice movement claims to be pro-women and yet attacks women who don't agree with their narrative. It's not surprising to me that a person who advocates for violence in the womb wouldn't hesitate to attack a pro-life woman myself. Here's the wildebeest. Yeah, that's the wildebeest. Notice how all these abortionists are really just hideous and nobody would actually want to go after them at all? They're just hideous looking creatures, honestly. They're not great. They're just hideous. Police confirmed that they arrested a 37-year-old woman and charged her with misdemeanor battery after Harstock made a complaint to Leawood Police Department. The woman, who has not been identified, continued to shout at the teenager, saying, "I hope you get raped, and I hope you get run over." Oh, what a very lenient and nice group of people they are. I mean, the pro-abortionists are not looking like they're actual complete whales, and they're unattractive, and they have an immense amount of hate for some god-apparent reason, and they're not terrible people. Well, it seems like their actions and everything that they do seems to be the other way, considering the fact a lot of them have been attacking pregnancy clinics and attacking people and so on and so forth. I mean, this has been the constant thing that they've been doing, and we're supposed to agree with them that they're the ones that are the rational ones. Yeah, right. Harstock managed to capture the final moments of the incident on camera, where the woman can be heard hurling explosive expletives at her while returning to the property. Authorities said the teenager was not injured in the attack, but SFL say that she is experiencing headaches and body soreness. I wouldn't be surprised, considering she was being hit in the head. Hopefully she doesn't have any type of head trauma. That type of stuff. Yeah. And also, by the way, if she gets some type of heart trauma or is sent to the hospital to anything else, she should probably be charged for attempted murder, by the way. So, there we have it. Spokeswoman for the SFL, Christy Hammerich, told DailyMail.com, "We're fighting an increasing violence against pro-life Americans and a shocking disregard for the crimes by the Biden administration." We are not surprised by this. Most people that are not pro-life are exceptionally violent. And they're mostly violent against people that don't agree with their narrative or their agendas. We've seen this quite often, but I don't have to keep saying it. Threat and acts of violence against pro-life activists are becoming increasingly common. Students for Life students and team members have endured everything from physical attacks and arson to bomb threats and intimidation, making security issues a vital concern and expense for pro-life events. When Justice Brett Kavanaugh, who was seen in as a possible pro-life vote, was confirmed to the Supreme Court, protesters stormed the court banging on the doors. Outside of the U.S., violent protests broke out in Poland and Latin America when those countries contemplated pro-life policies. Antifa has protested my own speaking tours and recently the Chicago March for Life. Some abortion supporters are pairing their advocacy for the violence of abortion with violent acts. Which is a good chunk of them, unfortunately, which have a definite chilling effect on public disclosure that must be overcome. When people are afraid to use their free speech rights, those rights don't truly exist. The assault came just days before Kansas voters blocked the state legislature from expanding abortion restrictions. Residents rejected a measure that would have allowed their Republican-controlled legislature to tighten abortion restrictions or ban it outright. Voters in the majority GOP state rejected by almost 20-point margin a proposed amendment to the Kansas Constitution that would have added language stating that it does not grant the right to abortion. In 2018, state Supreme Court decision declared that access to abortion is a fundamental right under the state's Bill of Rights, preventing a ban and potentially thwarting legislative efforts to enact new restrictions. The referendum in the conservative state was the first test of U.S. voter sentiment about abortion rights since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade in June. It was a major victory for abortion rights advocates following weeks in which many states in the South and Midwest largely banned abortion. The referendum was closely watched as a barometer of liberal and moderate voters' anger over the June ruling scrapping the nationwide right to abortion. President Joe Biden hailed the referendum result and said the vote makes clear what we know. The majority of Americans agree that women should have access to abortion and should have the right to make their own health care choice decisions. The thing is that you guys do have the right to make your own health care decisions. And unfortunately for you guys, I think the majority of people would not have a problem with having a certain limit of middle ground of abortions. Most people agree within 3 weeks, but then there's also some people that I think that people don't even think that 2 weeks is actually too long. So I think we'll be surprised if we actually found how many people really think what the actual abortion is and what people actually want for abortion rights. And for the most part, all I'm seeing is that there is violence on one side and no violence on the other. So it's really hard to be pressed to say that, okay, well, these people are the ones that we want that are non-violent when they're actively showing violence. They're actively attacking other people. They're actively destroying places and all that stuff and causing, honestly, terrorism in the process. So these people are not the greatest people that I've known, and most of them I've seen to be not the greatest looking people possible. And even so, I know one person said that, oh well, women are not killing babies due to the fact of are not killing children just because they want to or whatever. Well, it so happens she's horrendously wrong, because if we look at the statistics specifically for the CDC, which is 330,000 abortions which happened in 2019, and then if we go to the other one, which is, I forgot the name of it, Gutsluck or something like that, that one is specifically that has 930,000 abortions that happened, I may believe, in 2019, and you can't say that women are not willingly killing babies because of rights or whatever, because they are, because even if you take the actual rape percentage of even of 15% of rape, incest, and all that other stuff, you will still have an astronomical amount of people aborting kids just because. Also, to add insult to injury to their claim, women that make around $47K or up, that percentage, they have I think it's about a 30% more chance of actually aborting their kids. So, I mean, it seems that they're actively, willfully aborting kids at an alarming rate. In fact, it's becoming so bad where I actually did this, where I seen it, where women have around abortions of around 1.2 million, maybe 1 million or so abortions. Well, guess what? The birth rate that was in 2019 was only around 3 million people. There are about a quarter or almost half of the amount of people that are being born. So we can't really say that it's women because it's not because of We can't say that it's not really women doing this because it is. You can't say it's man because once a man puts a seed in them, it's all up to her. She has the full control and full control of being able to either keep that kid alive or abort it, aka kill it. That's just the truth. So honestly, it's all the women's decision, and I would even go as far as to say that they're probably the reason why we'll cease to be as a society because they are killing babies at an alarming rate. We're just barely pushing the actual the plus side of actual births. All right, so that's kind of how bad we are. I'll have the statistics and everything shown up here, so that way you guys get to see exactly what I'm talking about and how the actual serious case that it is. So that's where we stand. These are the issues that are becoming here. Women are a bigger problem to this than they actually seem to realize, and it's kind of a really big issue. Oh, to add the thing as well, women that are more likely to be in poverty, like below the poverty line or whatever, have more likely chances to have their children. So there's also that as well. So a lot of these things are being pertaining to women, and men have no say in the matter of this because it all leads down to women. Yes, it may take two to get somebody pregnant. However, at the end of the day, it is up to the woman, and she has the only decision to either keep the child or kill it. That is fact. Men have no power in that. So, the plate's on you, women. What are you going to do? Because now you guys have to face this accountability. And there's apparently some women that are more reasonable than others. Well, as I said, it's in your ball court now. And let's see where it leads. Because right now, our birth rate is significantly low. Below the actual needed birth rate to sustain a society to be good, to keep having to have our country, still be a country, etc., stuff like that. So we'll see what happens in the future. Only time will tell. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.